by about lunchtime, we really saw those clouds really pushing in from the south, letting us know there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and those hotter temperatures really allowing us to get to those more thunderstorm-like conditions, but just too hot and too much wind shear, and that's going to continue to be the case as we're watching a lot more zonal flow or faster winds pushing in from the west before we start to see some thunderstorm activity. Right now, everybody holding strong in the lower 90s right now, 92 here in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us in those lower 90s, and then we're only going to see a couple more degrees before we start that cool down, dropping down into those lower 70s. Right now, we're getting a good idea of those temperatures across the entire Concho Valley. Sterling City finally not on fire, 97 degrees up there, 92 down here in San Angelo. Seeing those cooler temperatures for McCavitt at 88 to the south, and that's going to continue to be the trend before we start to make our way in towards the weekend. Still seeing that uniform heat up and uniform cool down, letting us know I think the heat dome days are really behind us, but we could see another hot day make its way in by about the middle of the week. Right now, we're looking at those dew points and relative humidity indices really hanging out in those prime conditions to see some thunderstorm activity, but those dew points are just too low right now. Seeing those hotter temperatures, you are seeing a lot more dew in the morning, but I think we're holding off from that thunderstorm morning pattern. Right now, we are talking about that zonal flow really pushing across Texas, but we're going to watch this deepening low pressure system move in from the west coast, and that's what could cause a lot more severe weather as we start to make our way towards the weekend. Of course, look at how strong those winds will make its way over the panhandle before we start to see some of that clear weather push in by about Sunday, Monday, letting us know, hey, this is only a quick break before we start to see more thunderstorm activity. Right now, the severe weather outlook really just targeting the panhandle, and when we get a good look at the radar, we're starting to watch a lot of them come down from the Rocky Mountains and make their way over into the panhandle along that New Mexico-Texas border. And only for the rest of the night, those clouds really going to steer clear of the Concho Valley, seeing a few clouds bubble up to the west, but quickly running out of energy as it makes its way down the Edwards Plateau in that Big Bend region. Again, still seeing a lot of that southerly flow pushing those small cumulus clouds across the entire Concho Valley, and that's going to be the case as we make our way in through the rest of this week. Might see an opportunity for some thunderstorm activity by around Tuesday, late afternoon, early evening, and then it's going to quickly push out of the area. And then, of course, Wednesday, we're going to make a run at those triple digits. Before Thursday, we're going to start watching a lot of that cloud cover. Remember that low pressure system we were talking about? Well, it's going to start getting here very quickly before we start seeing a lot more thunderstorm activity, but it might hold off just long enough for game day. And, of course, we are keeping our eyes peeled on the weekend when we were talking about Braden's Park walk to end Alzheimer's. So tonight, we're going to be dropping down into those lower 70s, seeing some partly cloudy conditions. And then tomorrow, we're going to be seeing another warm day up to about that 90-degree mark before we start to see some thunderstorms push in through the afternoon, but they're only going to be quick in nature. But remember, the winds can be very powerful with some of these storms that pop up very quickly. And then that's going to take us through the rest of the week before we start to see some of those clouds really start to push in towards the weekend. Keeping our eye on kickoff conditions. Could see a triple-digit day in there while those lows are going to continue to drop down into those lower 70s. Stay tuned. We'll have more up after the break. You're watching KSAN News at 5.